Hey, what's up, gamers? Scott Kincaid here from Shark On Games. I wanted to talk a little bit with you about Microsoft's Xbox One Cloud and Sony's PS4 Cloud. And make it kind of a short video, but I wanted to, I guess, point out some differences and comparisons between the two. Starting off with Sony's PS4 Gaikai and their cloud using Gaikai services. Gaikai is a game streaming service that Sony bought last year in 2012. The primary function of Gaikai was to stream games to any device that has internet connection, normally through a web browser. It's similar to the OnLive service, which you may have heard of, and you can actually download and try for free right now. I think it's onlive.com. Basically, Gaikai allows you to play a game where the whole game is actually processed and the hardware and everything's handled online, and you only receive the signal back for the image. So when you press a button, that button press goes to the servers online, gets processed, and then the resulting image and change in the game happens on your screen. Is sent back to your screen through an image. The other main points that Gaikai is used for, as Sony has already announced, is that you'll be able to have a better matchmaking system handled on the cloud, and they will be using dedicated servers, but they didn't really expand on what that means or who gets to use dedicated servers or how that works. On the other hand, Microsoft and the Xbox One Cloud is based off Azure, which has been in the enterprise business world for several years now. And basically, the cloud on Microsoft's side is going to be used for game enhancements, so offloading process power from the Xbox One into the cloud, allowing developers to take advantage of much more robust hardware and to process things that are not latency or bandwidth dependent. Meaning, I think there's some good examples with Forza 5 using the cloud to handle the AI, and I think Titanfall uses it as well. I'm sure a few other ones as well do. I haven't heard any more. I think Sunset Overdrive might dabble in the cloud a bit too. Anyway, for instance, Forza 5 uses it for the AI, meaning while you're playing the game, single player Forza 5, the game is actually recording your behavior, like when you brake, when you accelerate, how you turn into the corners, all that stuff is being gathered and sent up to the cloud. And that turns it into basically a real person's AI. So when you go back, when someone else is playing their game, single player, and they're playing against computer-controlled cars, those computer-controlled cars are actually being controlled by the AI behavior of other players. So this is great for gamers. It means less predictable computer-controlled characters, more realistic feel to them and stuff like that. That's just one of the many uses. Microsoft, of course, I think I mentioned this already, they're also using it for dedicated servers and faster matchmaking. And recently announced, Microsoft said that every single game has access to the dedicated servers for whatever they need to use it for. Also, every single multiplayer game will be using dedicated servers, meaning no more self-hosting, so you get rid of the lag problems and the host migration. That's all gone. Finally, I wanted to just quickly discuss the downside to having both the Gaikai streaming service and also the Microsoft's Xbox One Cloud would be the latency and bandwidth issues. So bandwidth is like the size of information you can send back and forth, so packet size. Latency being how fast it gets there and back. So with both systems, and this I can speak a little bit more about Gaikai, having done some research there. Gaikai being a streaming service, they want you to, when you press the button on your controller, that button press has to be sent to the servers online and sent back to your screen image. So that's where the latency comes in. When you press the button, how long does it take for that action to get a response on the screen? How fast does that feel? Does it feel slow or fast or laggy, I guess is the word. So there's a lot of studies done on this, and I'm going to post a bunch of links in the description below. You can read up and get further explanations. But basically, they found that the sweet spot is 150 millisecond time, or ping, or lag. So if you press a button, and it takes longer than 150 milliseconds for that button press to be sent to online and transferred back to your image, your game, your TV. Anything beyond that is going to feel laggy. Anything below that is going to feel playable. And right now, I know that Call of Duty, which is a very fast Twitch-based game, is sitting down around 50 millisecond response time. Of course, that's not really a game streaming service or game. That's actually being processed on the box itself natively. But every console has some kind of native built-in latency, which is your button press to the console to the TV, and then back again. So about 50 millisecond for Call of Duty, Battlefield 3, for instance, was sitting around 115 milliseconds, which is why it feels a little bit more floaty compared to Call of Duty, but still responsive. I know in the PS3, Killzone was up around the 150 mark, which is why some people complained about it feeling a little bit laggy with the controls. So there you this one thing to look out when you're looking at game streaming for the backwards compatibility on the PS4. It's really up to the latency and the bandwidth you have. They also talked about the bandwidth being, you need about 3 to 5 megabyte per second connection in order to get HD quality gaming using the streaming service. On the other side, for Microsoft, latency, of course, is still a big issue, as is bandwidth, so it depends on how the developers are going to use it. Are they going to be sending big packets down, or are they going to send small packets, or how are they going to use that exactly? So we'll hopefully find out, coming up in a few months or later this year when you get hands-on with both consoles. I think that's about all I wanted to mention, and hopefully we will see more about these consoles soon, and more information comes out from both Sony and Microsoft. Thank you very much for watching. Again, this is Scott Kincaid from Shark On Games. Please check out my other videos on YouTube, and I hope to see you guys all again soon.